You'll notice he no longer suffers delusions of humanity.
Affirmative.
You saw him do this?
Well, not really. No, actually not.
Oh, then how do you know it was him?
I hit a camera. Yeah, and this time I've got him.
Has editing your content become a burden, or you just don't have the skill set?
I wish I could focus on content production, but post-editing takes so much time and effort.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We'll look no further. Here at Asylum 99 Studios, I can help you create professional quality videos that will be sure to captivate viewers. With my creativity and skill, along with your content, assets, and ideas, I can bring your vision into the simulation. I offer the following services: video clipping and organization, content creation, VFX, SFX, and motion graphics, intro and outro assets. Requests may be taken upon further discussion. So if you're a content creator, short on time because you're out living your best life, or you wish you could focus all your energy into producing content, reach out to Asylum 99 Studios today.
What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for?
Don't settle for mediocre videos. Hire me as your freelance video editor and create videos that meet your standards. Asylum 99 Studios. Release your creativity.
Come on, kinfolk. This time around, we're going to talk about government detention facilities and how your representatives that you voted for plan to get you in there. Now, this video is going to be a little bit dated, so you're going to hear some of the stuff he says. You're like, well, that didn't happen. So I want you in that moment when that thought crosses your mind to not throw out what he's saying, because everything doesn't happen right away. Your extermination is being run in real time. And in real time, things actually run pretty slow. So without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and get into the video.
You know what? I don't care. This show is an SOS program. It's going to be Federal Reserve, black ski mask, secret police under Clinton's control, under the CIA's control, and the IRS running rampant. And that's what I'm going to talk about from now on. I don't care if it gets old. The people that have seen it 100 times, I'll play documentaries from time to time. I don't care. It's the SOS program. They're going to restrict the money supply like they did from 29 to 36. They're going to bring us to our knees further and consolidate all this new money that's developed. And they're going to start thumb scanning us to buy and sell.
Well, I think one thing that normal, average folks can do to protect themselves is to buy up bulk silver coins, silver 50-cent pieces, quarters minted before 1964. If you can afford $3 or $4 or even $2,000 worth as an average family, those coins will be worth more than the cash.
Leland, there's a problem.
Don't you think?
Leland, there's a problem. You know what they did in 33. As soon as, they brought us to our knees for 3.5 years. They brought in Roosevelt. The Roosevelt family is a well-known heroin-running family from Hyde Park, New York. That's how they made their money. British intelligence. He was a British operative. And all they did is they outlawed gold. Ask your grandparents. They outlawed gold for many years for a share of commodity. You could still have it as a wedding ring or something, but you couldn't sell and trade in gold. Mm-hmm. They made you turn it in for paper because they knew they were constricting the money supply. People were using their silver coins, their gold coins. Things were getting better there for about a year. Then they started pushing for this, started having these buyback plans, and in 33 outright banned gold. They
outlawed the possession by citizens, didn't they?
Yes. They deepened the for a commodity. They deepened it. They had this big grand opening of Fort Knox. Everybody turned in their gold for paper. The private banks laughed. They had had the Federal Reserve for about 15 years before that. Transferred the gold to Europe. It was legal for Europe to buy our gold. The Firestone Corporation family got in trouble for setting up dummy corporations to buy gold. Europe has all the gold reserves. Britain has all the gold reserves. Our U.S. Treasury has no gold reserves. If people use silver, they'll simply outlaw it as a commodity, and they'll do it. They'll say on the news that it's hurting the economy. This is what's keeping the depression going. So we had to submit to thumb scanning and to a cashless society.
Yeah.
You'll still have cash, but you'll have to thumb scan to get your cash that is numbered specifically with electronic tape through it. So it's a very serious Orwellian deal we're entering into. The Y2K thing looks to me like a scam, how they're hyping it up. If it was a real problem, they wouldn't be talking about it.
So, did you hear that? We got into this mess, what they call the Great Depression, simply for complying with the fraudulent government. You see, nobody had to stop trading in precious metals. Our forefathers decided they were going to comply with the federal corporation. And I'm saying that because there's nothing stopping us from here today, right now, from casting the dollar to the side. Right? It's worthless. You just heard them. They took the gold standard away. They did that with Nixon, but they started working on it in the 1930s. There's nothing stopping us from walking up to your neighbors, coming together in your neighborhood, having a neighborhood community meeting, and deciding your alternatives in your area for the dollar. But people are so chained down and mesmerized by the matrix that they're not going to do that. They don't want to trade supplies with you. They don't want to have to go out and actually work to get supplies. They want to work and get that piece of paper that they gave you in exchange for your precious metals back in the day. So what I'm really getting at is, the problem is you.
You are in error, Mr. Wordsworth.
The everyday average citizen, so-called. So my question is, what are you going to do? Because we're getting ready to go through another switch. We're about to leave that fake-ass dollar and get on to completely digital currency. So are you going to comply with the government like your forefathers and repeat history and shove us further down the hole? Or are you going to take a stand and say, no more? The choice is yours.
Perhaps they're going to create some kind of panic with that. Look, the IRS is criminal, guys. They engage in criminality. There is no innocent until proven guilty. It'll be the same answer as it was this week. No innocent until proven guilty. No due process. Half of everything you make goes to some form of taxes. For every federal dollar of taxes they take from you, they only give you 30 cents back in the form of a service. 30 cents on the dollar, whereas a free market corporation delivers 90 cents back on the dollar on average. Do you understand? It is not working. They have lied to you. It is about control. I was just reading in the paper, Wall Street Journal last week, or was it? I believe so. Got it out in the car as usual, got stacks of stuff. And it said that Japan is going to cut taxes because their depression is so bad. When Kennedy cut taxes, revenue increased. When Truman cut taxes by half, revenue doubled. It's not a set sum game. You cut taxes, money flows in the private sector and is multiplied, not squandered. Your Social Security money is not there. It is totally bankrupt. They spend it as soon as it comes into the Federal Reserve, private banks. It's all a big lie. It's all a big Ponzi scheme. And they're getting ready to cash in the chips. And it's paper that the controllers print. That's why they have huge taxes, even though it hurts the economy, because it gives them control. Government admits concentration camp plan. Now here's the quote you're fixing to hear. The truth is, the plans are here where you could, in the name of stopping terrorism, invoke the military and arrest Americans and put them in detention camps. Congressman Henry B. Gonzalez, Democrat, Texas. Now that's a whitewash. It talks about the master arrest warrant, the master search warrant, how the president can suspend the Constitution, and anyone with shortwave radios, propaganda material, financial records, organizations or groups that have been declared subversives or may hereafter be declared subversive by the Attorney General may be detained.
No fucking way. Hey, no fucking way. That's it.
Now, I can't speak for all you viewers, but your boy Rondo right here. How you doing? According to that list he just read off, I've already got my ticket to the camp.
Now you see something? You know you done fucked up, right?
No! I said no!
Signed, sealed, and ready to be delivered to me. Now, the difference between me and a lot of the bots out there is I know that. I know I'm on that list. And I'm working to prepare myself to resist detainment.
Who that? Who in my house? I'm the devil! Who's asking? The devil is not welcome here!
As should all of you. Because you heard him talking about the IRS. All you ninjas that's still out here paying these fake taxes. If you decide to stop because, you know, the government's gotten out of control and you're starting to resist, just know they coming for you. Okay? This all could have been avoided if we were not a lazy species, so-called.
Permanently at a detention center. That is Senate Resolution 21. There is also government violence is illegitimate. The Deputy Attorney General of California commented at a conference that anyone who attacks the state, even verbally, becomes a revolutionary.
So you want to see how good you are? Then you must be tired of living.
Once again, I'm on the list. And quite frankly, if you're a returning viewer, if you're somebody who views this channel often, you're probably on that list too.
Now you see something? You know you done fucked up, right?
No!
So you should be planning accordingly and getting equipped.
And Louis Grafilia, who was head of FEMA, stated that legitimate violence is integral to our form of government, for it is from this source that we can continue to purge our weaknesses. Sounds like something that Adolf Hitler would say. Okay, let's go ahead and one more time tonight go to, it's slipping out in the Senate hearing back in the 80s about these concentration camps, these detention centers that they've set up. And by the way, since the 80s, we've gone from about 55 to 125 FEMA detention centers. We're not sure how many other detention centers there are camouflaged under the guise of federal prison, but they're set up for families. This is very serious. Let's go ahead and go to that as soon as we're ready.
Colonel North, in your work at the NSC, were you not assigned at one time to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster? Mr. Chairman.
I believe that question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that you not touch upon that, sir.
Man, this is some bullshit!
A classic play. They're either going to feign ignorance like we talked about in the last video, or they're going to tell you to just straight up shut the hell up. It's classified. But see, this can only happen, something like that can only happen when those who are meant to serve you come out from under you and place themselves above. The only reason they're running around talking about that's a classified matter and you can't talk about it is because they know they don't answer to you and me. As we like to call it, we the people. They are the predator, we are their prey. The predator is usually not going to tip off the prey to what it's doing. Except for in modern times with the internet and the arrogant stupidity of those who hold themselves above us.
Why, you stupid fuck!
And we see this going on today. You watched it during the scandemic. We watch it right now with all the elections. We watch it all over the TV, all over the place. We watch it in regular corporations. It's nothing new, but it's time to start paying attention to it.
I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution. And
now, what kind of event took place within the last 6 years that would trigger what he just mentioned? The answer would be the scamdemic. And what do we know that who said? That there's going to be constant new pandemic seasons going into the future. So, now that we know that they plan the pandemics, what are you going to do about it? Because now we see what the whole point of the pandemic is. To get you under martial law and prison-style living, an open-air prison/asylum.
Deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that it was,
May I
but I wanted to get his
most
confirmation.
respectfully request that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, I'm certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
And tragically, the only member who got close was Jack Brooks, and he was stopped by the chairman. But the truth of the matter is that, yes, you do have those standby provisions, and the plans are there, and the statutory emergency plans are there, whereby you could, in the name of stopping terrorism, apprehend, invoke the military, and arrest Americans and hold them in detention camps.
Man, this is some bullshit!
Now, in the last 5 years, what group does that sound like? If your answer was the January 6th protesters, you'd be correct. If your answer was NFAC, you'd be correct. Keep that in mind. We're going to continue.
If the president ordered a direct strike into Central America.
Well, there you have it. Pretty serious, pretty hardcore. You know what? I don't care. This show is an SOS program. It's going to be Federal Reserve, black ski mask, secret police under Clinton's control, under the CIA's control, and the IRS running rampant. And that's what I'm going to talk about from now on. I don't care if it gets old to people that have seen it 100 times. I'll play documentaries from time to time. I don't care. It's the SOS program.
So there you go, kinfolk. Now, I chose to do this video because the video is pretty old. It's not recent. Now, the way you heard him describing how things went down, it may not be like that completely yet, but what people fail to realize when you're dealing with these people is y'all have a microwave mentality. And I mean that by y'all expect any and everything to be instantaneous. If a nefarious plot is being run out against you, if you don't immediately see yourself being thrown in the back of a paddy wagon and dragged off to a FEMA camp, you think nothing's happening and that you're fine. What really is, if they walk slow enough, what does a predatory cat do when it's stalking its prey? Creeps up. Stop. Watch. Head down. When the prey's not looking no more, creeps up some more. As not to spook the prey. If they came out and did everything, we'd all mobilize against them and fight back. But they keep you pacified with the slow creep. So, Randall, what do we do about it then? Since you know everything. I suggest you start paying attention, because if you haven't figured it out by now and you're dealing with these people, they have to reveal their plan to you as a part of disclosure. It's a part of working in dark arts and things of that nature. Some people call it a cult. They'll give you the information, and they'll discredit it at the same time. So those of us who aren't mentally capable just tend to slide through the path of least resistance, which is listening to the media, because you have already pegged them as an authority figure in your own life. So, with that said, I want everybody to do this. Let's start going back and seeing the heinous actions that our government is responsible for. Because if you go back and look at that, you'll see that they're actually not doing anything different. They run the same play with different details. So if you see it one time in the past, you can predict it in the future. If you've seen it in the present, you can predict it in the future. So, what are y'all going to do when they try to do the Great Depression 2.0? 3.0 at this point. Barack Obama. But that's just something I want you guys to think about. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Peace.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. Go on.
I am a human being. I exist.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions.
Send the word.